Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tania, and if you're stopping by for the first time, welcome. Do hope you'll consider subscribing, and if you're not stopping by for the first time, thank you for your support. Today is another installment to my bag story series, and I will have linked below all the other videos with a story behind them that I have shared with you. I've received a lot of positive feedback from you guys who enjoy the bag stories, so if you'd like me to continue, please let me know. I have quite a few bags, quite a few pretty pieces. Actually, there's one missing. I must rectify that. And with the story behind it. So today's story is about my Philip Lim Mini Pashli. Now the reason I'm doing this particular story today is for Rose, who is a subscriber of mine and I love her to bits. And she spied this here in my little display behind me in a previous video. And she was captivated by the color. And look, I don't blame you, Rose, because simply this color is gorgeous. There's no way to describe it other than peacock blue, as you have described it in your comment. And when you hold it up close, you will see that it almost has a slight, that oil slick color and leather that was doing the rounds a little while ago. Henry Bendel had some at the time. Chanel had one at the time. Well, we're talking about good 4 or 5 years ago. So obviously Philip Lim did one similar, and this is in the Mini Pashli size. And I really like this bag. I have considered selling it because I feel like I probably should start selling things, but I don't really want to, but I probably should because I'm saving up for a Chanel. But anyway, all of that aside, let me tell you the story behind this particular bag. So I think it was about 3 years ago, I noticed this pop up in one of the Facebook luxury groups that I'm a member of. And the woman had it listed at $400. So this is pre-loved. I did not buy this brand new. And it's authentic. The admin woman of that group was listing it. And the color caught my eye as I was scrolling through. This is in good condition. Now, when I purchased it, the seller, strangely enough, had not abided by her own group rules, which was to disclose all damage on it. Otherwise, there was grounds for a refund. So I looked at it, I kept following it for quite some time. And then I think she reduced it like to $370, or I think it was actually $450. Then she reduced it to just over $400. And I messaged her and I said, look, I'm interested, but the most I can extend to is $350. And I said, if ever you're considering going down that low, please let me know. I would like to purchase it, but that's all I could afford. And that was it that I could afford at the time. And so anyway, she didn't reply straight away other than just acknowledge my message and said, thanks, not at this stage, hun. I said, no worries. So long story short, I got it for $350. She did describe that there was some damage here on these two little, like the pochette matisse that you got to push in order to open the bag. She did say that there were some scratches here on the front of them. She said, which is inevitable, and I understand that, so I expected that. So anyway, I purchased it. I paid through PayPal, sent her the money and everything. She shipped it out to me. This did not come with a Philip Lim dust bag. If anyone has a Philip Lim dust bag that you would consider selling to me, please let me know. Anyway, but she did put this into a Fendi dust bag. The old one with the tie thing that goes around it. Anyway, so this is the Mini Pashli, and I will just point out some of the damage. So these two little things here, can you see how they're sort of like looking a bit white on the front? So they looked like, she said that there were surface scratches as expected. When I received it, I thought, oh honey, that doesn't look like surface scratches. It looks like a little bit more than surface scratches. It looks like this bag has fallen down flat and it's been scraped like that. And anyway, so opening it up, she did have some photos showing that little wear there, which is what I was expecting. Because when you take photos of this, as you can see, you've got the reflection. You can't really see that clearly. And she didn't specifically say that the two little knobs were quite scratched up. So I expected that one here, and I thought, oh, well, it's covered up most of the time. It won't matter. So then opening up, this is the strap that it comes with, which is in the same leather, as you can see. And it has the clasps, which have the logo here on the front, like that, and just that sort of lobster clasp type facility, and the strap is adjustable, obviously removable. The dust bag that she sent the bag in is this one here, which is actually a Fendi, as you can see, but this is the old style Fendi that when you have something in it, you use these attached ties to tie up the bag. So that's the older style Fendi, which is okay. I didn't mind. So when I received the bag, I was so excited because I thought, what a beautiful color, and I've always liked this one. And I bought this soon after the Style Synonym uploaded her review of her hot pink one of this, and she really, really influenced me. I had a close look at it, and I noticed that across the front here, and again, it's not even showing up, I'll have to take photos, there was some wear. So can you see how the color seems to have come away there and across here too? Now that was not disclosed, and I was taken aback because otherwise I would have offered less than $3.50. Anyway, keep that in mind. Then on this side here, she did say that the strap, the handle here did have a little bit of color, sort of color wear because of being up against the body. So I expected that. But this front section here, where the color seems to have come away across there, seems to fit in with the wear that's on these two little knobs here. So I have a feeling that something happened with this bag, and I have a feeling that it must have maybe was unbalanced, or it just fell and dropped, whatever, and landed like that. There was some movement and it's damaged this section here, and then the very front. Having said that, had I not mentioned it, I don't think it would have been very noticeable because the leather is quite pebbled, and it's like a large pebble. Actually, it's not even a pebble, it's like a ripple. If you can imagine, like a larger version, a cross between a pebble and like an epi leather. There, if you can see that grain, see it looks a little bit stripy. Anyway, the other thing I noticed also is that, where's the glazing? There was one little section that had a little bit of glazing wear, which again had not been mentioned by the seller. Now we're talking about, you know, individual private Facebook sellers. We're not talking about, you know, like a business or a reseller or a company, you know. And there was a little bit of cracking here on this particular side of the glazing, and here across here too. Now glazing cracks, it's inevitable with time, with wear, you know, especially if it's in a section where it gets a lot of use like this, it opens and closes a lot, it's bound to happen. I can sort of live with cracked glazing, but when you have damage across the front, which is visible, I have a problem with that. The glazing, you know, I could always have it sent to, we have the Bag Spa here in Melbourne, and they could probably fix that for me. But at this stage, I'm not going to do anything about it. So that's that. This bag has these two zips, which are notoriously stiff. But, you know, I've actually played with them quite a few times in order to try and loosen them up. There's the opening and the inside of the bag. All the Philip Lims have this little inner pocket like this with the zip across. Their zips are not all that smooth. So just closing this one, there's a bit of friction, and it does have the 3.1 Philip Lim here in the gold. So it's a beautiful bag. I still love it. I have considered selling it. This is probably the most striking colored bag I have in my collection, aside from the little darling, but that's a little bit more subtle. So this was purchased from Essence. The inside of the bag is a fabric, like a grey-green fabric. The other part then to the story of this bag is that I contacted the seller via Messenger, and I said, "Hi Mel, thanks, I received the bag, thank you very much. I'm a little bit concerned because there is some damage on the bag that you did not include in the description, and according to your group's rules, all damage needs to be declared before selling an item." I said, and she replied, she said, "Oh, okay, well then what would you like to do about it?" I said, "Well, I actually still like the bag. Could you consider reducing the price and maybe refunding me some of the price?" I took and sent her lots of photos, and she then replied, she saw, because it was indisputable, and I think she knew, and she replied and she said, "Okay, I will deduct $50. So Look, in all honesty, back then I was less assertive than I am now. Now I probably would have said, well, actually, I was considering more $80 to $100 because it probably would cost me minimum that at the bag spa to have the glazing repaired. So I would have spoken up more now, but back then I was in a different headspace, a different reality, let's say, and I couldn't really do that. So I just accepted the $50 deduction. So she sent me back $50 through PayPal. So that is the story of this bag. I actually still love it. I've forgotten that it does have some of that. What I would like to know though is how to repair that. Now I know that this metal has been, you know, like that color, that whatever is polished on, or it's baked on, or it's, I don't know how they do it. I have tried looking for paint just to put across there, like metallic silver paint, just to put across the front, but everything I find is too bright. It's hard to find this sort of pewter shade. And as for the glazing, well, that's something that either I will do myself, because I do know how to reglaze items. It's just a matter of finding the matching color and taking the time to do it. It's a beautiful color. Can we just look at that color? It's truly beautiful. So guys, let me know what you think of this and this story. What would you have done if you received a bag with this type of damage? Would you have learned to live with it like I have, or would you have certainly sent it back? Let me know. I'm very, very eager to read your comments. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I'm trying to get closer to that 1,000. I am on 669 as I speak. So help me out. That'd be great. So take care, everybody. God bless, and I will see you next time. Ciao.